Part two of what shadow work is. I'm Kamson, Untamed Oracle. Kamson? That's really how it's pronounced. But I'm Kamson. And I'm going to talk about people pleasers in part two of what shadow work is. So, honestly, people pleasing is something that I have really struggled with. And whenever I could not fix people, I felt guilty. Guilt is not based in truth, it's a program. It's a voice that is inside of you that was used to punish you for trying to have boundaries. So, shadow work for you looks like saying no without feeling guilty, without over explaining. It looks like not apologizing, not making yourself smaller to make other people feel comfortable, typically with their inadequacies. So over time, the guilt loses its power over you because you begin to realize that the world is not going to end, that they will survive, and so are you, even if you start saying no. And this reduces stress because you're rewiring the way that your brain works. And yes, I teach exactly how to do this in my book and in the Coven. The book is in the description. Do not sleep on this, okay? So with people pleasing, that one simple thing will help you. The second thing that's important to note, the reason that dark mothers act as archetypes is because they are archetypal energies that rule over the subconscious mind. Okay, so when you do shadow work and you don't have protection, it's dangerous because you're opening the basement of your psyche. Things live down in there that's been hiding there for a reason. You got to be ready. Not because it's evil. It's because it was something that was too much for your nervous system and your mind. So you shut it down and buried it. So when you begin doing shadow work, you're healing the inner child. But the inner child needs a mother. The inner child needs to be remothered, to be reparented. So if you are a divine being, does it make sense to work with divine mothers? And this is where people, they don't resonate with my work, and that's okay. But Oya, she helped me with stagnant energy to get through the storms of life. Segment taught me how to burn away things that don't belong in my life and let shit go. And I was able to let things go that I never thought I could. Kuan Yin helped me to access a level of compassion that I had never felt before. So they are initiators, they are protectors, and they are also like allies for you on the journey. Most people do not teach this. I first learned about this from Bobby Hemmett. He is a scholar, read many books and spoke on this. And when I started to do the work and I really went deep, and if you're new here, and you can just go back all them last 10, 11, 12 years and see all the work that I've done. And I've put so many hours into what I teach and what I do. And so what I realized was that I was trying to do everything alone. And when I started working with dark mothers, when I started using mantras, mudras, and invocations combined with somatic exercises, my life changed dramatically. Okay, so these are things that you can do right now, whether you're a man or a woman. They love working with us, okay, as women. They really do. Especially if you've ever been a single mom, you ever been divorced, trauma, went through certain shit. Like, it's great to work with them. So mirror magic or mirror work, mirror shadow work is super duper effective. Okay. So you can start, just activate your nervous system by saying whatever it is about you don't like. Like, I do too much. I say too much. I overexplain too much. I people please. I fawn. I don't like for people to be mad at me. It bothers me. I can't sleep at night. I lose my appetite when I think my man is upset with me about something, when my kids are upset with me. And just look at yourself and allow yourself to feel all of what you are feeling. And in this moment, do not judge yourself. This is the moment for you to give compassion to yourself. This is therapy for the soul so that you can stop running from yourself and start facing the things that trigger you the most. It's super simple, but you need to be ready. Now, this is something that I need you to understand about me. As I'm saying this to you and teaching these things and what's in the workbook that I created, and that link is in the description, it's not something that you learn by going and getting trained. I had to actually live through really difficult experiences. And I've spoken really openly about this. And one of the main experiences for me was remembering when I was homeless I've had some people in my family who maybe would give me a can opener or a toaster or something like that. But what I really needed was a safe place to sleep, right? This is just one example of many. And you could think that negative things are happening to you. And I'm using that because it's kind of extreme. But you could think that these things are happening to you because you've done something wrong, or you were unworthy, or you somehow deserved it. Sometimes you even feel like, damn, do I even matter? Like, why am I going through this? No matter what I do, why am I going through this? And it was for me to learn a lesson. My soul chose these things in my soul contract. And that's what you get to open. You get to open your Akashic record and see why you have walked the path that you have walked, why you have been where you have been, and have the experiences that you had. It makes it make sense beyond, it happened to me because I'm a bad person. It happened to me because of XYZ. Whatever it is, it helps you to see yourself as a soul who came here to have these experiences to learn. So my entire life has been shadow work. And it's not a moral failure when you are living in survival mode and don't know how to thrive. So many of us don't. And the hatred that we seek in the world, it is the unclaimed shadows that's within each and every one of us. So whatever trigger you in certain relationships or situations, that's an unclaimed shadow. All you have to do is connect with it. Have compassion for these parts of yourself, and they will no longer have control over you. And I don't know how to say this enough, but if you can't feel naked and exposed when the parts of you that don't feel worthy to be seen are being seen, if you can't witness your own self when you're in your own darkness. And for me, a lot of that was depression, and I was ashamed of it. I was ashamed that I would let laundry pile up, that I just couldn't function. I couldn't do certain things for myself. I felt ashamed that I had so much chronic fatigue, and doctor's appointments would go well and they really couldn't give me an answer why. And it just made me feel like something was wrong with me. And so throughout my life, all of these things happening to me, I needed to be able to see myself from a higher perspective. And that's when my whole world changed, because I was no longer a victim to my circumstances. And this is when I first learned the word alchemist. And I was like, what is that? That's what I want to be. And shadow work basically is alchemy. It's you taking the shit that have happened to you, or maybe you're experiencing it now, and turning it into gold. So when you do shadow work, there is also a golden shadow. So that's what's on the other side of that thing you don't like about yourself. And so for me, what I was uncomfortable with was that I was a fawner. I was a people pleaser, that I would try to manage other people's emotions, manage other people's happiness, manage other people's joy, try to understand where people were coming from and try to feel where they were coming from so that I could help them. I was hyper vigilant. I'm hyper attuned to everybody's needs within my auric field, which is pretty expansive. I have to intentionally collapse my auric field, which operates like a toroidal field. So it's like two spirals that spin out two separate ways. And each of your chakras, from the 7 to the 8 right above the head, the star chakra, the 8th chakra, the one right below your feet, that would be the earth star chakra. And then we have up to 156 chakras depending on what you're studying. But to know that within this little bitty body that I have universes inside of me, and that I am the microcosm of the microcosm, meaning everything that I have ever seen in space exists within me. Everything that I have ever seen in nature exists within me. All of the elements, fire, water, air, it all exists within me. The ethers. On top of that, we have 6 subtle bodies. So the pain body and the emotional body right now is really going through an evolutionary phase. And when you don't know what's happening, it's hard to make it make sense, because most people that are probably in your circle of influence may not be going through a spiritual awakening. And so what happens is life becomes confusing because you're having a multi-dimensional experience, but you don't have the tools to navigate that experience. And so a spiritual awakening requires shadow work. Okay? You can't separate the two. And so a lot of times we're expecting to manifest all of these great things that we love, and life is wonderful and I should be feeling great and blissful. My third eye is open, my heart I know what chakras are. I've been healing my heart chakra. I've been doing this. I've been getting back to ancestral veneration and giving honor to those that walk before me so that I'm living life with gratitude. But what people don't say is when you start learning how to be a conduit for light, the things that have been hidden in the darkness come out. They come out inside of you. They come out in people around you. You become a salve, and it draws out. It pulls out the things that have been beneath the surface and hiding. And different versions of you start to come forward. And all of a sudden, pain starts to happen. Grief starts to happen. Because in the West, grief is something that is frowned upon because you can't make money off of people while they're grieving, right? Because you're not going to be as productive. And so we have sacrificed grief, the process of grief, on the altar of productivity created by capitalism, which is a part of the 3D matrix construct. And so when you go through a spiritual awakening, the systems and your awareness becomes opposite of what you're having to do every day. So you almost feel like you have to be two different people all the time. And this is why shadow work is so important, because it's an integration of all of these aspects of you so that you can be your whole self. And so I thought that the synchronicities, the manifestations, learning about spirit animals, finding these goddesses and even gods that represent the divine masculine within me, like Hanuman and Ishu, like when I studied those two and connected with their experience and the mythology around them, and recognize them as this energetic force that I can actually tap into for wisdom. When that happened, I was getting so many synchronicities that was confirming it. So I'm not somebody who's like trying to get you to explore your journey of self-mastery in a way that only suits me. This is available for anybody. It's just that a lot of times this information is behind a paywall that's pretty steep. And let's be real, what's happening in the economy right now, we're shifting from simply being money-based to more so a world that's based on frequency. And, with the economy shifting like that, it's almost as if it is challenging us to not be as focused on productivity and getting $1 for every single thing that we do. It's nothing wrong with that, because I feel like that I am supposed to be able to live well from what I offer to my audience. However, there is a balancing game, and we're in the middle of that balancing game right now. And when you really start to do shadow work, you will discover inadequacies about yourself, and you I thought I had healed that. And if you have children or grandchildren or even elderly parents, you are going to get the opportunity to see yourself a lot. Okay? These are the soul contracts at play. We choose the people that are in our life. You could have a boss that you do not like. That's in your soul contract. Do you know how to open your Akashic record and see what that contract is? What that contract was supposed to be teaching you? Because we all chose this life. And so we can get really philosophically deep and be like, well, as children, did we choose to be abused? Because that would make no sense. Because in the beginning, that was upsetting for me to even hear people say that. I'm like, I didn't choose that. That shit was happening to me because I was a victim of a particular situation. It wasn't a choice that I made. But at the time, I wasn't able to logically make sense of me choosing all of the events in my life before I came here for the purpose of evolving my soul, gaining wisdom, breaking cycles, being a generational curse breaker. I couldn't make that make sense because I was trying to make it fit logically. And I was still struggling with the whole good and bad thing and being sinful. And if we look at some of the most successful people in the world financially, especially, a lot of those people lack the common morale. So a morality compass was something that was created to keep us inside of these roles and these lines so that we are not revolutionary, so that we are not free thinkers, so that we are not capable of experiencing sovereignty, so that we're not capable of experiencing wholeness. And when I took a step back and learned that I am the ruler of my emotional body, no one else controls that. So if someone destabilizes me emotionally because I'm afraid that they're upset with me about something, it's not their responsibility. It is mine. And so once I understood that, and once I started doing the shadow work and I found the gold that was hidden in the shadows, it's like a mind. And you're going down in this mine and you're excavating. All of these words that we use for getting treasures from Mother Earth came from us too. As within, so without. So when you learn how to dive deep into yourself and find the treasure that makes you you, then you're able to be with the things that you don't like about yourself in a way that's not emotionally charged. And one of the first things that happens is that you experience for the first time what emotional sovereignty feels like. And that means that how others behave is no longer a predicator on how you feel. That's sovereignty. It's not just being able to buy some land and grow some food. Like, yes, that's one aspect. But if we don't become sovereign emotionally, then you're tethered to everything outside of you, which is always changing. It's never the same. It's always changing. And because I am someone who has to sit with insurmountable amounts of pain, just the shame and the guilt that I would feel around that, the guilt that I could feel around not being able to be at my child's graduation because I'm in the hospital, not being able to take them to the park because I'm having a difficult time walking that day. The shame and the guilt around that was so, there is no word that can even express how overwhelming that was for me. And I'm in a place of acceptance now where even when they don't understand what's happening with me and they're upset about it, my nervous system is not as dysregulated as it used to be. And what happens is, because we're on a different version of Earth, this is not the same Earth we were always on. This is why relationship standards have changed. This is the reason that the whole reset, we created something called a relationship reset. For those of you who know, that have been around for a while, you know, like years ago, we created the shame detox. We've created the mindset reset. We created the religious detox to heal religious trauma. Like, I've created so many things with so many gems in there, but it came from going into the darkness. And I made friends with the darkness. I have respect for my darkness. And, you know, it took some time for me to get there. even depression, which is something like we probably don't like to admit to, but it's a sign that you have undigested emotions. And it's not always what's happening in life right now that creates depression, anxiety, sadness, all these things. We can look at these things like negative emotions, and what it will do is it will cause us to feel an ick about it and kind of want to avoid it. And that's dangerous on the new earth, because that means that you're still broadcasting out that frequency. You're just refusing to acknowledge it. So if you're refusing to acknowledge it, then it means that you have to kind of live in your head, distract yourself, not be fully present in your body, not accept everything that's happening with you. And so that frequency is going to broadcast out, and it's going to be pulling in experiences that's in alignment with that frequency. And that frequency is like a highway. And there are certain highways that are more like sundown towns. And these certain highways have entities that are assigned, like highway patrol, on these highways. So if you're riding the highway of avoiding the fact of facing the truth that I am a people pleaser, and that I do sometimes feel like people don't appreciate me, but I keep giving and giving and giving until I just feel bitter and I feel resentment. Like if you're not accepting that and you're riding that highway, no protection, no self-awareness, you're not being honest with yourself about it. So you will attract things outside of you that are not going to be honest, not going to be aligned, and it's going to mirror that back to you. And the entities that rule in these highways, that patrol these highways, searching for people who are a vibrational match without protection. So I'm not saying that you are not supposed to ever feel these emotions and even sit with them. But I do give myself a time period. So I'll say I'm going to be angry for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do to process, and after that I'm done. Right? That's a boundary. Boundaries aren't for other people. First, they're for you. You have to master having boundaries with yourself, and so that you can be more regulated emotionally. And then once you do that, you can enforce boundaries with others in a way that's not going to be as disruptive as it may seem. And I teach you how to do that in my Turn Pain into Purpose course, in the Dark Goddess Guide to End an Energetic Fuckery, and in this book, Sis Unfuck Your Sage Complex. And for men, Relationship Alchemy, how to be a safe man. I teach that in there, and I give you this step by step. So what happens is when you are not on that highway unprotected, so I'm still on the highway of depression, right? I get on that highway. I was on there the week after I went into the hospital. I was riding the highway of depression, right? And the protection that I have from what I've used, I've already told you about that. So I have dreams where certain deities visit me in my dreams. Certain ancestors visit me in my dream. I had an ancestor, his name was Chief Yellow Thunder. A name I had never heard before, but he told me that was his name, right? And in the dream, he was doing a healing ceremony, and he called me forward, and he did a healing ceremony on me, smoke, feathers, things like that. Blue Lotus was involved. He laid a blanket over me, and it was a lot of shame, and it was a lot of energy around my feet. And he said that my peace had been disturbed, and so that energy would follow me on my path wherever I went, and it needed to be cleared. Right. So like y'all can look in my eyes and tell if I'm like making this up. Right. Like you can't make this up. You can feel when somebody is being truthful. That's the new earth energy. We can't really hide as well as we used to. To certain levels. Some people are manipulative and very good at it and hiding it. But there is less of a veil now. So things feel unfiltered, things feel uncensored, and sometimes things feel uncomfortable because on the new earth, we're not being allowed to use our mask and our manipulative tactics, and people also are not able to use them on us, and they work as well as they used to, right? So it's things like this that have happened to me over the years, time and time again. And I journal pretty much most of this. It's happened so much now, I don't always journal it. But I have over 20,000 notes in many different Apple devices with these experiences. So when you have real life experience that you can share with people, the subconscious mind works through things in the dream realm, right? And so I got so much proof because I started off as a skeptic of everything. And I've gotten so much proof of the effectiveness of these things. This is why I do what I do. So now that we are here, now that we are here, resonance rules the world. What are you resonating with? What are you allowing yourself to resonate with? You know, who are you when you're triggered? What do you think about? What do you say? How do you behave? What frequency are you broadcasting? Because that's the highway that you're riding. And if you're riding the highway, if you're doing shadow work and you don't have proper spiritual hygiene, you don't know how to protect yourself, right? You don't know how to perform an invocation. You don't know how to align yourself with your ancestors. You don't know how to feed them, you know? You don't know how to support the communication with them. When you don't have these things in place, you do become more exposed. And that's not to put fear in you, because we've already been exposed. And when our spiritual awakening is calling for shadow work, is calling for honesty with ourselves, and we're too afraid and too nervous to do it, it just creates instability all around us. And life becomes more complicated than it has to be. It's hard to be a kind person when you have unprocessed pain inside of you. And so how do you process it? What do? Do you have your own tools that you use, you know? Mirror work, super effective. And that's one of the most simple ways that I could share in this teaching. Trauma journaling, just trauma dump in your journal, unfiltered. Say whatever the fuck you want to say, however the fuck you want to say it, and be real ASF. And when you do that, you neutralize these things. So now, guess what? You're still experiencing all of the bandwidth of who you are emotionally, but you're in control of your shift. You're in control of your shift because you are now owning your shit. So you're not going to get triggered as much. They're going to become a person who has a level of groundedness and calmness that maybe you never knew that you were even capable of having. These are some of the things that happen that are really amazing. If you have a difficult time loving yourself, if you beat yourself up a lot, shadow work might be a little too much for you. So you want to start simple. Go easy, not too much, not too long, know when to pull back, right? Shadow work also, I noticed it triggered things in my children. And at first, I was like, okay, like, is what I'm doing making stuff worse? My higher I divine self was like, no, you're bringing it out now. Instead of your children having all of this come out when they get grown, it's coming out while they're in a safe space. And so if this is something that you notice, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It's quite the opposite. You're doing something that's beneficial. And that purging impacts those that have come through you, okay, especially through your womb. You never detach from a child that came through your womb. Even if this child is not even with you, there's still a connection. And so when you do healing work on yourself, you're also healing those that have come through you. And you're also healing your ancestors. So this is almost like time-space manipulation. And you're bending time. And when you regulate your emotions, you create new timelines. You create new experiences. You call in things that are going to have a resonance with the vibrational frequency that you choose the most. So if there's anything in your life that you do not like, or that you want to improve, or want to change, or you are ready to release, this is how it's done. So if you would like to join my coven, ladies only, you can check it out. It'll be in the description. And the books will be in the description. And the Soul Contract Decoder is only 8 things that you learn about yourself. Okay? That's all going to be in the description. And I want to thank y'all so much for staying to the end of this video. If you did, I try not to do scripts most of the time. I do have notes to help guide me through these videos, but I don't say, like, share, and subscribe because it helps other people to find this information, but it does. And so I'm reminding myself to say this more often. And I love to hear from you. Like, what did you feel while you were watching this? Are you new? Are you somebody that's been around? Whatever. Like, let me know. Because if the content that I'm creating is not adding value, there is no purpose. And I enjoy challenging myself to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be. And a lot of the words that I'm using right now, you are going to hear in a new format, in a different form. So stay tuned, because trust me when I say you cannot predict what the Oracle is going to do next, but you can definitely bet that it is created in the highest frequency of love with the purpose of healing, transformation, and empowerment. And this is my favorite thing to do. This is my passion, one of them. But yeah, stay tuned. All right, I got plenty more videos for you to watch. Go ahead and watch another video. My goal is to deliver some of the maybe saddest, irritating shit in a way that doesn't lower your frequency. So if I have accomplished that, then, kudos to both of us. I see you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate y'all. And those of you who are in the members only, those of you who are on my Patreon, those of you who are on my Substack, those of you who are on my email newsletter, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Everything that I do is for you. It's for me too, but it's for you. All right, y'all. Peace.
Focus my third eye beyond time and space. The light in the dark is like leather and lace. I built for this life to be awake. Hip to the nose, forget gravity. Releasing what's heavy when I meditate. Removing the mask cause I do not do fake. Raised in the trauma, been breaking away. Chanting my mantras with kuda kuli. Making a choice to bring power to me. I ain't gotta chase, I attract them to me. I do every day on the daily, you see. Them negative thoughts, they be bowing to me. I am untaming my alchemy. Dripping in blessings, I'm proud to be. Speaking my truth, loud as can be. Taking up space like a masterpiece. Higher, higher, higher. I take you higher. You know I got this. You know I got this sacred fire. This sacred fire. I break the matrix, I'm burning brighter. I be the odd beater, odd leader, card reader. Shit, I'm far deeper, squad leader. I got odd features, God features. I'm built different, this broad sweeter. I'm a peacekeeper, not a mob leader. I'm a heart reader, that's a heart beater. Standing tall like a large cedar. Walk the line, camouflage seeker. To the mind, I'm a grim reaper. Finding gold when I dig deeper. Shadow worker, I'm a soul feeder. Globia, Akashic, see a pain leader. Heyoka teacher, insane reader. I'm a truth seeker, I'm rider waves, loving the sea feature. People think they wanna be I've been broken, put together like a piece, like IKEA. That's real shit, it's real life. I speak the truth, we elevate, we levitate, mediate. You already know that I feel you on a soul level, we resonate. You already know that I feel you on a soul level, we resonate. You already know that I feel you on a soul level, we resonate. Higher, 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 yeah. Higher, higher, higher.